Joining me now from the AugustForecast.com, Patrick Wood via Skype from his offices in Arizona to weigh in on this developing story. Obama opening the door for new diplomatic relations with Cuba. No doubt a globally significant and historic event. Is this a stunt to grab headlines for this lame duck president, or is he fulfilling a globalist agenda to give Cuba a seat at the table? Patrick, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Gary. Good to be here.
Patrick, immediately, what is your first impression of this move?
Very negative, actually, Gary. I'm not completely apprised of what's going on. There's some terms and stuff they're using that are not revealed. They don't really make any sense yet. So there's more to be discovered about what's going on. But on my first blush, absolutely negative. The Cuban community is absolutely enraged at this, especially down in Florida. It's just not a good time for this to happen. I can see, on the other hand, I'm not a very good chess player, but I can see, on the other hand, that the State Department might have in mind here, since Russia is completely down on its luck, so to speak, right now, and having stolen Crimea from the Ukraine, that they might just be figuring this is a great time to steal back something from Russia, if you will, by taking back Cuba. It has been a prize possession, if you will, ideologically, of Russia for a long, long time. And so that may be part of the chess game that they're playing on this. My guess is somewhere in this, we're going to find Zbigniew Brzezinski and Henry Kissinger.
Yeah, I want to get to them in a minute, because before we do that, though, a senior administration official told CNN, quote, "We are charting a new course towards Cuba. The president understood the time was right to attempt a new approach, both because of the beginnings of changes in Cuba and because of the impediment this was causing our regional policy." What regional policy is he speaking of?
We don't know. I've never heard anything of a regional policy that involved Cuba per se. And, on the other hand, the president has never had any foreign policy at all of his own. He's not capable of cooking something up, some kind of a regional policy for Cuba. Is absolutely absurd. So somebody has put him up to this.
Well, let's get to that. The people who are pulling the strings, given your extensive background tracking the globalists in the Trilateral Commission, Zbigniew Brzezinski, David Rockefeller, Henry Kissinger, we know that Obama refers to Brzezinski as a mentor. Is there a greater agenda at work here? How does Brzezinski perhaps play into this?
Well, there is a greater agenda. I can't really apply it directly to Cuba yet. But my guess is we're going to see analysis come out that is where we see members of the Trilateral Commission involved in this policy. It's almost inconceivable that they will not be at this point. But yes, Brzezinski was the primary foreign policy advisor when Obama was first running for president, and he's still been kicking around the shadows ever since. And there's many members of the Trilateral Commission that are in the State Department, high levels in the State Department right now, exercising their policies and stuff from the inside of our government. Well, and I want to say again, it's not about politics, it's about economics. The Trilateral Commission from the get-go is about an economic system, about changing the economic landscape. How they're going to do that by integrating Cuba, I can't really say at this point, but nothing is done in foreign policy right now just out of the blue. It just doesn't happen. Oh, we just stumbled upon this and, it seemed like a good thing to do. It's not that way at all. It's very planned out. There's a lot of chessboard playing, if you will.
Do you believe this is a move for Obama to plant a flag, make history, or just pick up some cheap headlines?
I think he's trying to pick a fight with Congress still. And I think that fight will eventually come, and it probably is going to precipitate a constitutional crisis. What he's doing at this point is really patently illegal and patently unconstitutional. Henry Kissinger was the guy back in 1968 who made a secret trip to China under Richard Nixon. And they didn't spank him back then. They should have. There was a huge outroar. He did what? Who authorized him to go? Congress was absolutely livid that Nixon just sent this guy, Henry Kissinger, over there to open up relations with a communist country, the most brutal dictatorship in the history of the world almost, and he did it. And basically, this is the same thing. He's just completely circumventing Congress to do something that he decides it just needs to be done. Excuse me. Well, sooner or later, Congress is going to get a spine.
We see the effects of that. We see the effects of that decision now. as China is the trade deficit with China we have. Now, what do you think the long-term effects of this decision will be? Do you think it will help or hurt our foreign policy given the current black eye that we have?
You know, it's really hard to say. I'm not so sure that it's about what the rest of the world thinks of us at this point. I would almost view this as an interpersonal relationship issue between the president and Congress. And Congress is going to have to respond to this somehow. I don't think it's going to be in a positive way either. But he keeps doing things kind of like a schoolyard bully, if you will, trying to pick a fight with somebody that really doesn't want to fight. Congress obviously does not want to fight. They haven't fought yet. But he keeps doing things like immigration reforms. Another great example. He has no authority to do that. And it may be that some courts actually strike him down. It won't stop the policy from being implemented.
All right. Patrick, we're out of time. Thank you for joining us and weighing in on this developing story.
Thank you, Gary.
That was Patrick Wood. He is from the August Forecast. You can find out more about him and his journal at theaugustforecast.com. Up next, we've got today's special reports, and Amanda Gabriel is standing by with your daily digital report. This is the WHDT World News.